Oh, I see how it is.
It's getting us a little more censored. All right. Hey, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Steve, and this is 60 Cycle.
The 60 Cycle Humbug.
Yeah, 60 Cycle Hum, the guitar buying, selling, trading, modding, fixing, breaking, reviewing, playing podcast.
Whoa. Podcast. No. There it is. One day I'm going to mark those things so I can remember what's going on.
All right, this week's first ad was sent by Screen Drag.
Oh, you have to go to the folder to see who
this was
sent
sent by
it.
Sassy Cat, one of our YouTuber guys.
Yeah, he's
YouTube follower.
a faithful audience member on our
Yeah.
YouTube streams. Sassy Cat, how you doing, Sassy?
This-
also, he's joined on multiple times to video chat with us, so good for him.
This is a PRS SE built by World Musical Instrument Co. in Korea under exclusive license for PRS. It is a Paul Reed Smith SE custom Budweiser, $485.
Are you sure it's a Budweiser? It just looks like it says "dud."
This is a 2013. Oh, I don't know what year this is. Well, the headstock says Budweiser, but the body does say Bud with.
That's what I'm saying.
That's an F. This is, I guess, a B.
It's part of a B. You get the U, you get the D, you get the W.
It's a Udwa.
Yeah. Oh, there's another B down here. Who was in charge of this graphic? Why did they do this?
Maybe there's another one. There's another one that it's had.
You got to connect them
here, and another one that goes here.
You need 3 of these guitars to spell out Budweiser.
It has to be the right 3, though.
But nothing on this graphic is making any sense. It's like it was cut out of a really long poster.
Where is this? Where is this located?
It's on Reverb.
It's on Oklahoma. It's in Oklahoma City.
I mean, clearly it's
Gear Exchange
it's
LLC.
a promotional guitar that was probably left in a bar or something like that, or given away through a radio station. So you can't expect too much out of it. But it's, I mean, a PRS SC isn't like, anything that needs to be, it's valued or desired or anything like that. They're fine. They're fine guitars. I've played some SCs that I really liked. It's just sad to see this graphic treatment on one. I'd say like the headstock treatment is actually way classier.
Yeah, the headstock looks great.
Even though it says Budweiser is done.
I mean, for what that's what I mean for what they're trying to do.
If they didn't do this huge, awful body graphic, they could still make it Budweiser red.
Yeah, so that's the problem, right? So the headstock has the cursive B and the rest Budweiser. This has the cursive B kind of whatever thing here.
Flamed maple red. Mm-hmm. So you're getting the PRS thing. You're getting the Budweiser red. Give it a classy white pinstripe. It already has a white, the binding pinstripe is what I'm talking about. And call it a day. Double white humbuckers.
Double white humbuckers. If you need to put something that actually says Budweiser on it, you put it on the pick guard.
You put it on the pick guard.
Put it on the pick guard, and
you engrave that Budweiser crest onto the pick guard.
There you go.
With the lion and stuff on it. The Anheuser-Busch logo.
I'm not sure.
Is that what I'm thinking of?
But yeah, I think you put something like that, or maybe what
it's their eagle logo. You engrave that on the pick guard.
Oh, okay, yeah, that'd be cool.
And PRS loves carving animals. They'd be all over that.
Are we doing that again?
No, that eagle.
Yeah,
that would look really cool on the pick guard right there.
I was gonna say the other thing they could do is you do the flame red thing with the white binding. Your pick guard is white pick guard with with blue pinstripes.
Like a copper hardware to match the Anheuser-Busch thing.
I was just thinking
red, white, and copper. It would look really.
I was just thinking of
sharp.
the classic that Budweiser navy blue that they've got going on their cans.
Oh yeah, totally.
Throw some navy blue accent on the pick guard. Yo, Paul.
Instead, this thing looks like some trash a radio station would give away with Nickelback tickets.
Yeah.
You know?
You know what I gotta imagine
And
is,
it's probably a great playing guitar. It probably sounds great too.
what I gotta imagine is happening here is there was a contract, right, to build this thing. And basically, you know, they probably said, oh yeah, we'll build this thing. It's all spec'd out. All you have to do is send the graphic to World Musical Instrument Co., which I think, I forget what all they make, but World Musical is like one of the big, obviously
they make everything.
They were making PRS at least at this time.
Right.
And they make a bunch of stuff. They're very well known for making a high quality product. Like you said, like this is an SE. It's going to be a very solid, mid-level instrument.
I can tell you exactly what happened with the art. And this is the way it was when I worked in the t-shirt industry. We would do licensing, which means we would pay for a license and we would be able to print like Family Guy and Sonic the Hedgehog and, you know, like all sorts of stuff like that onto shirts. The problem is, like, it sounds exciting. Like, oh, you get to work, you know, with those characters and make art around those characters. No, you get to repurpose provided art of those characters. So you can't really change the colors. You can't change the characters anyway. You can't change poses. You can't do anything. The licensee just sends you a folder of available graphics and you can kind of decoupage them together in whatever way you want. They probably just got sent like a pack of like Budweiser promotional graphics.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, we'll just photo print this onto a guitar. And it makes no sense because the spacing doesn't make any sense. It was spacing for like a banner or something.
Well, it's also a thing where, you know, I just smashed into Google Budweiser poster.
Right.
There's nothing that looks anything like this.
Right.
Like there's nothing, this just, like you said, like this doesn't make you think of Budweiser. If I saw this with no context,
it would take me for a while to realize it was a Budweiser
I guess
graphic.
maybe the Budwa I would figure that part out. But if it didn't have the Budwa, I don't think I'd ever figure out what this is.
If your name is Bud and your last name starts with a W,
this is for you.
This might be a solid buy. This might be a solid buy. And it's got the B logo with the crown on top. That can be your new personal logo. I mean, but it's just an ugly graphic. On a guitar, that's fine. I mean, I'm not a huge, you know, fan of PRS, but it's fine, you know. So they want 400 something for this, 485, basically $500 after shipping. I don't know if I had $500 to spend on an SE, it wouldn't be this one.
If I had $500 to blow on an SE, I would just smash the fuck out of this. I'm really like,
you hate it.
I don't know what it is. I just look at this thing and like, I don't want it to exist.
I despise the graphic on it.
What do we got in the inner circle right now? Let's make a video.
You want to order this thing?
Let's order this thing with inner circle funds and let's make a video.
Oh man, it's too late to do the U-Log video this year.
Just be like, we'll do like the case test with the softballs. Only there won't be a case.
I don't think destroying this thing is the way to go, but I think delaminating that graphic is the way to go.
I mean, and if you just got this, took the hardware off,
there's no make an offer for this ad.
Ugh.
I would make an offer for
$300.
$300 even. That was the number that was in my head, actually. $300 even. He would come back with $450, and then I'd come back with $375, and then he would take it. And then spend that extra money that you saved on a belt sander.
Yeah, you kind of like have to sand this, right? Because I don't know. I've never done it. Maybe
I bet a lot of that would come off with a heat gun.
My only concern with a heat gun is because this is a set neck.
Yeah.
Like how...
I don't want to dick with that.
Yeah. That would be my only concern. And I guess maybe as long as you didn't go to town around the neck pocket, you're probably okay. Also, it's binding.
Is it real binding though, or is it like poured epoxy binding? You know, I don't think.
Well,
it's
the
real
question
binding.
is what regardless of what kind of binding it is, the question is it in a channel?
Here's the problem.
If there's any kind of binding.
No,
channel.
I don't think there's a channel
With epoxy resin, is there no channel?
No, I think it's like painted on, man. I think it's sprayed on. I mean, even if there is a channel, like you can redo the binding or something like that. Still, like at the end of the day, is it worth our efforts? And after we liberate this thing of its graphic, what do we do with it after that? You know, do either of us care about this guitar?
So you're saying like belt sander, but I'm just thinking table saw. You know, just go brant, brant. Now you've just got a neck.
Take the wings off.
You got a neck, 2 pickups, a bridge. I guess you got no electronics.
You don't need controls.
Just take the top wing off. Leave the bottom wing. It'll be like that bass from last week.
I have to admit that would be the coolest PRS I'd ever seen.
No, I actually like if this was just black.
Oh yeah, it'd be.
I think it looked
drastically
really cool.
better if it was just black.
Really cool. And I'm not.
So maybe
like,
spray paint. Just spray paint it.
Not the biggest fan. Well, I don't think I could spray paint it and get it to look that shiny.
That's true too.
Also, I want that binding. I like that binding.
It's a project starter. This is a project starter, but not at 485.
Not at 485.
That's the price of a new SC. Like I played one of those Santana SCs at Tillman, and I had a great time with it. I would pick up one of those in a heartbeat over this. Like so fast.
Yeah.
There's no reason to get this. Go get yourself a real SE. Don't get yourself a Budweiser SE. And does anyone love Budweiser enough that they want a Budweiser themed guitar? Budweiser is just a drink of convenience. Of like, I'm at a bar and Budweiser's what they have on special.
It's not even like, does anybody love Budweiser enough?
And the people who buy Budweiser intentionally, come on, we all know they're alcoholics. Like you don't. You don't buy Budweiser for the taste.
I'm trying to think if I've ever actually had a Budweiser. I'm sure I have.
I have. I mean, it's, you know.
But that's the problem.
We love Coors, and it's not far from that. But
it's funny as I asked that question, and I feel like if I've had one, I either had one.
Budweiser's just spicy Coors, and Coors is just smooth Budweiser.
Yeah, I probably had a Budweiser either playing softball, like somebody brought like a 12-pack, or I feel, is your dad a PBR guy? Primarily?
He's whatever's cheapest guy.
So I feel like I might have had a Budweiser with your dad at some point.
It's possible.
Like 10
years ago. He usually goes for High Lifes. He usually goes for the High Life.
Yeah.
Yeah. The champagne of beer. Yeah. Not the coolers of beer like we like. Cool younger guys who are also middle-aged.
You got to get your Coors in the stubby bottle, man.
I do.
That's how you know you're hipster.
High Life is an excellent pizza beer.
Is it?
It's just an excellent pizza beer. You get yourself a pitcher of High Life. You get yourself an 18-inch pepperoni. You're having a good time.
I was asking my kid the other day if she'd ever had New York Giant pizza. And I kind of want to just buy one now. I don't know what I'm going to do with the New York Giant pizza in 4 people.
You know, you can get it by the slice.
Yeah, but I want that like redonkulous, huge, you know, 30-inch, 40-inch, whatever.
She never had one of her birthday parties or something? Pizza.
No, she's only had like 3 birthday parties.
Oh.
And a lot of times, like, we will do stuff where it's
I thought you were talking about Penelope.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, she's only had three birthday parties?
Like, I mean, that had like more than 10 people at them.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Like, damn, Steve doesn't let his kids celebrate birthdays.
Yeah. They're not worth it.
No, you're saying she hasn't had big parties.
Yeah. We always have like a birthday party, but it's like family.
Right.
It's not New York Giant pizza. Yeah, I guess I could just get her like.
They're so cheap, dude. Just get the big pizza and
throw it all away.
You know that makes excellent like cold pizza too. New York Giant, you got to slice it up before you store it in the fridge, but that makes great cold pizza. Get yourself a New York Giant pizza. Show your kids a good time.
Man. All right.
Just a humongous pepperoni pizza.
I gotta find a place. No, I guarantee you, nowhere that I live makes it. So I'm gonna have to go to Claremont.
We have one here in Mira Mesa.
That's far. That might not be farther. I don't know.
You could pick it up on like it'd be a special trip. You get off of work, you go pick up the pizza, and then you head home with it. Okay. And the Costco pizza is almost that big, isn't it?
Nah, Costco's maybe
more normal.
It's probably an 18.
Yeah. You want that big.
I want like the one that
36
like
inch.
Exactly the size of your table.
Right.
The ridiculous one.
It's so big that like it's not cooked in the middle.
I want the one where it's like square, like it's all cut into squares.
Oh no, you gotta have the long slice.
All right.
Like we're so long, it's like that. There's no way to support the tip of it. It's just like a flop, and you basically have to fold it over the rest of the pizza.
And it's gonna be a waste of a pizza anyway because she only eats cheese.
She's not going to eat any of it. You just want her to see the spectacle.
Yeah.
You want to flex on your daughter. Just be like,
you ever see one of these?
Daddy got the big pizza. And she's like, okay, Dad, I don't really eat pizza, but
Yeah,
thank
she
you.
doesn't care. She'll be like, oh, cool.
You're not eating any of this pizza. You're just throwing big pizza around the house violently. Like the most dramatic thing.
I'm just gonna Breaking Bad that thing.
Get it? I've never watched Breaking Bad, but I know that scene.
Yeah,
People
me
post. I
neither.
mean, you're gonna have to order a New York Giant pizza uncut. They're gonna be like, "What?"
The real problem
Don't
is
cut it.
The real problem is I live in a 2-story townhouse. I don't know how I'm gonna get it up to the roof.
I think you could get it on the roof of the park.
Oh yeah,
on
the
the car park.
the carport.
You
That
just wouldn't be
doesn't
able to
count.
see it.
Yeah.
I could do it with my roof. Bring your kids over here. Throw it on my roof.
All right. Let's do it.
And then my
Gonna be the
neighbors,
next YouTube video.
my neighbors will watch a 48-inch pizza slowly rot on my roof.
Jeez. All right, man. What's new? You got anything new?
My what's new is going to be connected to your what's new. So talk about your thing.
Yeah. So I brought this over. I made a tap tempo.
Oh, you made that.
I actually made this a super long time ago. This is a barefoot button.
And it works?
This is a barefoot button.
Barefoot button. Remember when they were one of the early sponsors of the show?
Yeah, this was one of the
we
ones
were one of the
got.
first media outlets to break the barefoot button. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Big brag. Big brag.
So this is a tap tempo I made, and I made it for my Boss DD5. I brought it over for Ryan to use in conjunction with. This is how old this video. I mean, let me know if you got a Boss pedal this old that you've used enough that like the letters are falling off, because like the Boss logo fell off the freaking pad.
Yeah, you've worn that in pretty good. Yeah, you've really tapped the crap out of
I've
this
had
thing.
I've had this pedal. It's definitely the pedal I've owned the longest.
Yeah.
I've had it probably
You already
15
lost
years.
the center sticker off the back.
I don't even know if I ever had the center sticker.
I've been seeing people complain like, oh, Velcro doesn't stick to the bottom of Boss pedals. It sticks to the bottom of old Boss pedals just fine, because eventually that rubber turns to plastic.
Yeah.
Everything sticks to it. Same with the foot pad. That's plastic now. It's not rubber anymore, but you get a fresh one and it's rubbery. But that goes into my what's new, because I've been working on a deal with Boss. They hit me up and like, hey, Ryan, do you want to make a concept video? And I was like, yeah. What do you want me to do? And they're like, I don't know. What concepts do you think you'd like want to tackle? And I was like, I don't know. We could do something crazy like every single Boss delay pedal. I don't know. That's a stupid idea, right? And they're like, no, let's do that. So they sent me every single Boss delay pedal. Yeah. I've got the Boss DD200 here. I have the Boss DD500, of course. So the two supercomputer delays. I've got the DD8, the successor to your DD5, your DD6, your DD7. I've got the DM2W. I'm excited to check that one out. Cool. And I've got the DD3T. I'm really excited to check that out because I've long time been a lover of the DD3. Not the DD2, which is utter trash, Josh Scott.
Is it?
But the DD3 is my preferred
Is it really
DD.
not? Is the DD2
I find the DD2 to be too bright and too sterile and too close to a true digital delay, where the DD3 actually has a slight analog element to the repeats where they do start to bleed off warmer.
I'm really interested in seeing what you think of the 5, because I think the 5 is renowned for being ice picky.
Yeah, I want to see how all the standalone DD delay pedals compare to each other tone-wise, because like I said, I've got an ear for the DD3. I own a DD6. So we'll do the DD3, the DD5, the DD6, and then get into the new ones, the DD3T.
This will be cool.
And the DD8, and see like how they compare tonally, which sounds like it'll be so specific and like cork sniffery, but it's going to be fun.
It's going to be a 60 cycle hum video. So
yeah. It's not going to be too technical.
I guarantee you Ryan will not have the mic placed in the right position to capture the nuances of all these delay pedals.
Yeah, and I'm probably going to go brain dead by the end of it, and nothing's going to matter to me anymore.
You know what I used to have? Oh, I sold it.
A DD4.
I had a DD7.
DD4s don't exist.
Have you ever heard about the whole thing about the 4 series, the 4 with Boss?
Well, Japanese companies don't do things with fours because it's an unlucky number.
I think there is like a P. It's like a PO4 or a PS4. There was like one 4 pedal.
But if you turn it on, then you get sucked into the ring, and then you have to get
like
10 other people to turn it on.
Isn't that a Korean movie?
Yeah, you're probably right. Sorry, Japan.
That's racist.
I did not mean to do that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to mix you up with the Koreans.
If you plug in the Boss 4 Series pedal, it summons Godzilla out of the sea and he destroys your city.
There we go. And Mothra doesn't show up to help you.
Yeah.
Mothra.
I don't know what you're
I wish I knew the whole
about.
song. Mothra. I love those little Mothra twins. Steve, not a fan of Godzilla.
I'm not like...
I am learning right now.
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm not a fan, but the problem is most of my familiarity was...
Matthew Broderick.
What was the cartoon? No, the freaking 70s cartoon.
Oh, Bambi?
No, Godzilla King of the... I was like, Godzilla King of the Monsters.
It was
like,
a cartoon?
Dude, it was a cartoon from like the 70s. It was up from the sea, 40 stories high, da-da-da-da-da, Godzilla. It was Godzilla and Godzuki. It was like the miniature Godzilla. And
I don't think I ever saw any
it was
of
like
this.
a Hanna-Barbera thing.
But I've seen, I think, all of the live action Godzilla movies. And I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Godzilla. I'm a G-boy. That's what we call ourselves now officially. Yeah, I'm a G-boy.
What?
Even the girls in the club call themselves G-boys. You just know.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
The cartoon was just called Godzilla.
Huh. And your shirt was from the 70s?
It was a 1978
Wow.
Godzilla 1978 TV series produced by Hanna-Barbera in association with Henry G. Saperstein.
It must be one of those things that you know about because you had cable as a kid or something.
It aired on NBC in 1978. Continued to air until 1981, packaged under various titles.
That's actually a long runtime for
I watched
Hanna-Barbera
it
cartoon.
on like Cartoon Network.
Yeah, I didn't have cable until I was like in college. So I didn't see any of that stuff. Was it any good?
The show was expanded to 90 minutes with the addition of Johnny Quest reruns and retitled. That was also in the 70s, actually. But it was kind of that whole tie-in of like retro. It was like on the tail end of retro.
Sure.
Hanna-Barbera. So it was like Johnny Quest, Godzilla. That was it like C Lab?
Right.
One of them, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah. And they had Godzilla and Godzuki, which was like
The baby Godzilla.
who can try to fly. He has tiny wings, and basically just serves as the
Comic relief.
Yeah.
Sounds about right. I might have to go look up clips of this.
Yeah.
I am a G-boy after all.
And Godzilla is a hero.
Well, yeah, that happened in the live actions too. Like he starts out as being, an analogy for nuclear war, and then ends up being like the defender of Japan against other monsters.
Apparently, Godzuki was the cowardly nephew of Godzilla.
I like him already.
That's kind of weird.
Uncle Godzilla.
Yeah.
That's what it should have been called. Uncle Godzilla.
Anyway, you got anything else new to cover? What's new?
I'm sure I'm still recovering from my vasectomy, but other than that, nothing. Oh, it was Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Merry
Steve.
Christmas.
I hope you enjoyed all your presents.
Did you get any gear things for Christmas?
Oh,
Ryan?
I'm sure I got all sorts of cool stuff.
Yeah.
We recorded this in the past. We don't actually know what happened on Christmas. We could all be dead by now. I don't know. I hope we're not all dead. I hope we had a Merry Christmas. I hope you had a Merry Christmas too. Yeah, Christmas was really great.
All right, this week's episode is brought to you by Big Ear Pedals.
That's right.
Makers of the Albie, the Woodcutter, the Loaf, the
Black Betty.
L, the Black Betty, the Betty White, the Z Delay, the Frank, the Chaka.
A lot of those aren't even made anymore, right?
No, yeah, those three aren't made anymore.
Yeah, Big Ear Pedals, close friends of the show, supporters of the content that you know and love. Go buy yourself a Big Ear pedal today. Treat yourself.
Grant and Karen make really great pedals. They also do custom artwork on pedals.
Karen's been painting them up. Yeah, and they look really cool.
Very
honestly.
cool.
Very, very cool. So go check out Big Gear, everything that they make. You want to collect the whole set.
Yeah.
You want to put them up on your display case, your china cabinet, so everyone can see, oh, he's got the full set of Big Gear. I wonder if he brings out those pedals for Thanksgiving as like his fancy pedals.
I need to get my and actually after Christmas, I will hopefully be able to do this, move my computer downstairs, which will give me potentially give me a clear workspace to do some electronic work, so I can build the Big Gear Stevis and Burkhead.
I need to build mine because we've had those things in for 9 months or something stupid.
Like we need to get that done. All right, this first topic
was sent in by two people. Ted Jackal,
BigEarPedals.com.
Ted Jackal and Emily Harris essentially asked the same question back to back. What gear would you like to see in 2021? And then Emily asked, what do we think gear trends in 2021 will be?
I think a continuing trend that is going to get bigger in 2021, and hopefully it does this in kind of the right way, is I think we will continue to see, I don't want to say low end is the wrong word. I would say like budget friendly,
affordable
pedals. No.
Where is he going with this? I can't wait. The suspense is killing me.
I'm looking up the thing that I'm going to say actually is that's pretty. I'd say that's generally affordable. Kind of like self-expression things. I had this conversation like a couple weeks ago.
Self-expression things.
So, for example, and not.
Are we talking about like accessories? Like
accessories. That's the word I'm looking for.
Like straps and themed capos and.
Yeah. I think it's going to be. I think 2021 is going to be the year for that.
The year to express yourself.
I think we're going to come off of 2020, this super downer year, and people are going to be like, you know what? Like, I want a volume pedal topper that has a graphic design that I identify with.
You're going to be like, it's 2021. I want that rainbow guitar strap, and I'm not even gay. I just like rainbows.
Yeah, I think brands like
crazy hats.
Are
going to become a thing.
I don't know about crazy. Have you
crazy hats?
Have you seen the Fender fedora?
Those aren't crazy. I'm talking crazy hats, long feathers, tall hats, velvet hats. Crazy hats are coming back.
I just think we're going to see. I think we're going to see a resurgence of like, and not even like. I don't want to say colorful strap because brands like Couch, and Soldier have made colorful
personalized straps, maybe,
but like more personalized straps. I'm thinking of like the kind of stuff that like Rocket makes, Rocket Music Gear they make. That's just like very, like she does the holographic
right
straps. Or like I think she's done like fur covered straps and sequin straps, things like that. I think we're gonna see. I think we're gonna see a lot of people getting into those.
In a similar vein, I think everyone coming out of COVID, assuming that the vaccines that they're talking about work and buy us all a return to something resembling normalcy, I think we're gonna see obviously a return to live shows. And as
I don't know if we're going to see live shows until like late 2020.
We'll see. Steve is talking as a person working in biosciences.
I'm just talking as a person who had concert tickets for June 2020.
There's still, who knows? But I think you'll see the local scene light back up before you see the touring bands, plan out their, 6-month, 8-month tours or whatever they do. So I think you'll see the local scene fire back up. You're going to see the party scene explode. Like people cannot wait to get in the club, in the venue, in the dive bar,
and get COVID all over again.
Live music going on. They'll be like, oh yeah, the vaccine's out. Yeah, the vaccine's out. I haven't had it yet, but I'm assuming everyone else did. And they're all going to go out and get COVID before they get the vaccine. But they're all going to just rush out into clubs to live music. Bands are going to start back up. They're going to have one practice like, we're ready. Let's gig again. And people are going to go hog wild on their rigs. There's going to be a return to 4x12 and full stack amps.
Think so?
People are going to be like, it's time. I want to go big. I've been itching to get into a venue in front of an audience so bad. I want to have the full experience, and they're going to do it. They're going to get themselves that Marshall full stack. They're going to get themselves a huge orange stack. They're going to get themselves the Sun stack, the Ampeg, 8x10 or whatever it is. Like, they're going to go nuts. People are just going to go nuts because they'll finally be able to play out. They'll finally be able to be loud. And when people have that release, they're gonna stretch all the way. Okay. So that's my prediction for 2021. I mean, all the amp modelers, all the digital stuff, that's all great. That's all fine. But I think that's going to be the surprise twist. By the end of 2021, like, Marshall's going to be like, whoa, we cleaned up.
Yeah.
We sold a lot of stuff, and there's not going to be any 4x12s left on the used market. All those 4x12s that you couldn't trade or sell away for like a decade, suddenly they're scarce. They're not $150 anymore. Now they're the $1,050.
Loud Industry is going to resurrect the Crate brand just so they can start manufacturing 4x12s again.
There you go. Get that Crate
loud music.
Blue Voodoo reissue.
Ooh, Blue Voodoo.
As far as like effects and sounds and things like that, I have no idea. Like, maybe this will be the year of the phaser.
There's never going to be a year of the phaser.
There's never going to be a year of the phaser.
A year of the flanger, on the other hand.
Oh, buckle up. It's time.
I feel like a lot of one
stereo
of the
effects because people are going to want to buy 2 full stacks.
I think the thing that we'll continue to see that I've really liked actually seeing this year is I actually think people have been moving away in general from big, not necessarily moving away from big boards, but moving away from maximized boards. And so what I mean by that is
redundancies and like fully like packing out everything on the pedal board, like every inch of space, Tetris,
well, I think
it to death.
Basically, yeah. So Tetrising it to death, and for moving away from that, you open up, opportunities for this Teisco. Like, it's not too weird, but it's not a traditional shape. It's a little bigger than you would normally have for a distortion, or even though it's a traditional box, something like the Land Devices HP2.
Right.
That's not like, you look at this and you're like, could you fit this into like a compact layout? Like, I don't know what's inside of it, but it kind of looks like it should, but you're not going to get an aesthetic this cool on a small box. So I think you're going to maybe see some stuff like that, or like the some more things like the Beatronics.
Oh yeah, like big artsy kinds of boxes. Yeah, I'm all for that. I kind of pick up on that vibe too, that people are over like trying to Tetris and squeeze every little last bit of space out of their board until it's completely packed. And people are more like, you know what? I really just need 2 rows, and they don't even need to be that tight together. Like, let's get choosy. Let's get picky about what I actually have on this. Do I actually need to have 3 different drive pedals? Nah, I probably just need one drive and a fuzz. And I only need like this one delay that's like a delay computer and things like that. I think people, they're getting more specific. Also, prediction for 2021, the entire industry is going to crash and no one's going to buy any new stuff anymore. It's going to be all used stuff, and no one's like, the people that are left are not going to want to play guitar anyways. And so all the stuff is going to be dirt cheap. And those of us that want this stuff, we're just going to be buying used stuff for the rest of our lives because all the companies are going to go under, and it's going to be doomsday, guys. All your favorite brands gone, and it's just going to be used stuff from now on. I don't know. It could happen. A doomsday prediction for 2021. If I'm right, people are going to think that I'm a Nostradamus over here. Gearstradamus.
That seems like a not likely scenario.
No, I don't think it's going to happen that way. I think guitar is going to be bigger than ever. For all of 2020, the whole decade, more guitars, guitar music all the time. Everyone's just going to play guitar. All instruments and all bands will be guitar. Drums, guitar. Bass will be guitar. Keys will be guitar. Every instrument will make guitar sounds, and guitar will be the primary sound that we all hear.
If you strum a bass, you're kind of making guitar sounds.
We will speak to each other through guitar sounds. No longer will we use audible
Is that like
mouth-made
is that like
language, a primitive
is that
mouth-made
like
language.
Peter Frampton? Like
You can only make like 5 or 6 vowel sounds with your mouth and make maybe 3 or 4 consonant sounds if you really break it down.
oh okay.
You got 24 frets across 6 strings on a guitar. Buddy.
Dang.
There's a lot more to communicate there. I'm just saying.
All I know is if I have to move from speaking English to speaking guitar, I will go from being a pretty good speller to a not very good speller.
Functionally illiterate over here. Neither of us can sight read music. We will not thrive in this new future.
True.
Next sponsor?
This next sponsor for this episode is Chase Bliss. They made this guy, the Preamp Mark II.
That's right.
In a little collabo with Benson. It's the Benson
Heard of him.
And
Benson
Chase
amps.
Bliss Preamp Mark II. This is super cool from the Automaton series. They also make the CXM 1978 Reverb in collaboration with Maris. These are just 2 of these like crazy, and like this is a thing. We go to this bigger pedal board where people don't really care about smashing everything in there, and all of a sudden this becomes a something that you want on your board.
Now
because you don't need the space.
I
You're
get
not worried
kind
about
of
it.
nervous about this thing being on a pedal board because it's so damn pretty. But I mean, realistically, it's a bunch of money. These are expensive.
Yeah, but it's not like it's gonna break.
It's a drive. It's a couple fuzzes. It's a distortion. It's a preamp boost. Warm up your tone, sound better thing. It's a wah.
It's made out of metal.
It's a tremolo. Like this thing can replace a bunch of stuff on your board, and it's got presets to jump around all those different sounds. It's an EQ. Like this is the sort of thing could be on your board and replace a bunch of other stuff very easily and look beautiful while it's doing it.
In addition to these Automaton series pedals, Chase Bliss has a lot of other great cool things for you to check out over at chaseblissaudio.com with the digital brain and an analog heart. Chase Bliss pedals makes pedals more creative than you are, because you're not very creative, let's be honest.
Yeah, none of us are very creative. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing this or listen. You wouldn't be listening to this if you were creative. You'd be out kite surfing or something. I don't know. You'd be recording an album right now if you were more creative than this Chase Bliss pedal.
All right.
Yeah.
This next topic was sent to us by somebody.
Kyle Barnhart.
Kyle Barnhart. He wants to know about...
If pedals didn't have any graphics on them and every manufacturer's enclosure looked identical, which company do you think would be the most popular? If players essentially used just their ears and not their eyes when buying, who's the big daddy of them all when it comes to tone?
I feel like that's really tough. Like
It's super tough.
Would everything have to be big box? I feel like everything would have to be big box to start with. Like everything would need to be like in big muff boxes.
Yeah, I guess.
Because
And also, is it a standard amount of knobs for everything? Does everything have to be 3 knob or 4 knob?
everything has the same number of knobs, but not all knobs actually do something.
So if you have an effect that requires 5 knobs, you're just like, sorry, you don't get that.
Or every pedal has 6 knobs.
But if it's just a clean boost, it's like, okay, well, you got 4 knobs and one of them is the boost. So
yeah, exactly. Every pedal has 6 knobs. You don't
or
need-
each knob is like 6 decibels.
There you go. You have 6 knobs on every pedal. Every pedal is a Big Muff Pie, the old box of a pedal. And
No graphics.
but yeah, if it's like a boost, only the upper left corner of the knobs actually does anything. No graphics. But who would be the best pedal maker then? I think
It's so hard because it's so subjective, and it's not like it can be like, oh, here's the worst pedal maker, because you can't even think in those terms. Like a pedal either functions or it doesn't. If it doesn't function, then it's broken, and no one should have a broken pedal. They shouldn't buy a broken pedal.
Let's ask this question. I think there's a way to reframe this maybe a little. What is the ugliest pedal that you're like, it sounds so good?
I think a lot of the like 90s, early 2000s Digitech DoD pedals are hideous looking, but I'm sure a few of them sound just fine. At least,
I'm looking around your shelf, and the problem is I feel like if I be like, oh yeah, this is an ugly pedal, it's kind of like it's a call out.
the ugliest pedal that I love is probably the Keeley Compressor Plus. just because it's so basic and so bare.
Right.
But then it's pretty much the only compressor that I actually really just go to. Like, oh, I want a compressor. That's the one I throw on my board, you know?
Yeah.
So if you made like a Strymon Compadre in the same box, unmarked, as the Keeley Comp Plus, I don't know. I would have to do a blind taste test to see if I preferred one over the other. It's really hard to say which company would be making the best sounding because it's so subjective based on your taste and what you're trying to do with your tone. Like, I mean, if I had to save my life right now, there's a gun to my head and I had to pick one, I'd just be like, oh, Boss, because they've made basically at least one of every kind of pedal.
Right.
And a lot of their pedals, they sound great. Like the SD1 is a totally great tube screamer.
I kind of feel like, and you know, this is like I said, I feel like if you pick somebody, you're almost saying like, well, you're not outright saying their graphics suck, I guess. But I think of like a lot of the pedals that are just like very simple graphics, or that just like,
you have to think about case design too.
I know a lot of people like them, and
would anyone care about the Klon Centaur if it came in a plain, Hammond box?
Like, do you think it would just? You think that the hype is?
Oh, totally. I think there's a huge aesthetic to the hype. I think you see that giant custom cast metal box. Die-cast box is the word I was looking for. It's made out of they're all made out of the same like metal that Hot Wheels cars are made out of. And it's that stunning gold color with, the knobs and the very simplistic graphic on it. And there's something striking about it. And I think that's contributed to the legend of the Klon in a certain way. If it came in a raw metal box with, just lame looking knobs on it and no graphic, no one would be like, oh, this is special. They'd be like, oh, it's kind of a weird overdrive boost thing, I guess.
You know what? You say that, but the pedal that I actually was thinking of for this is the Analog Man King of Tone. Like, I feel like the King of Tone
kind of ugly
is not like
a lot of the Analog Man stuff is kind of on the fug side of things.
He's got a very specific aesthetic that is almost like it's broken down printer aesthetic. And it works, like it's consistent from pedal to pedal. So whether or not it makes me think of the 90s in the way that like 56K modems make me think of you know what I mean?
Sure.
And again, but the King of Tone is something where it's like it's highly sought after. People don't seem like they don't really actually care what it looks like.
Right.
Because you see that purple box and you're like,
how much is the sought after quality of the King of Tone just because the market is limited and people can flip it? Like how many people are actually like, yeah, this is my main pedal. This is my
I think you see
jam.
A lot of them. And sure, you see people flipping them, but I think people will go into it because it's like a safe investment. But at the same time, the people who are flipping them are selling them at a profit. If there wasn't anything to gain, people would just get on the wait list.
I guess so.
Like there's enough mystique, I guess, surrounding this that, people are chasing after that sound, and that they spend, instead of, I think what the King of Tone is like a $270 pedal that people spend, $500 for.
Right. I'm trying to figure out what my ugliest pedals are.
That's what I was saying. But I feel like that's almost like you're calling somebody out.
It's tough.
It would be interesting because again, if everything, I don't even think of it being like, if every pedal looked the same, because I think if a pedal is good enough, if it looks good enough, I feel like almost like I should.
I think if every pedal looks the same. We still got
Pedal Crush sitting out here. I almost feel like I should flip through it until I see something and I go like, oh yeah.
If every pedal looked the same, if you were trying to choose a top brand, it would be a brand that had the most variety and the most quality across that variety of pedals. So popping in my head right off the bat, you've got your Bosses, you've got your DoD Digitex, rest in peace, and then you quickly jump into your JHSs, your Walruses, your Keeleys, the well-established, formerly boutique, but now production level brands.
It's got a smell. Have you smelled this? Smell that.
It smells like a book, Steve. That have these brands that have produced basically a couple of every style pedal that's ever existed. You know, they've got something in their catalog for every style. And so I think those brands would end up on the top of the stack of like, oh, you can just recommend this brand because they're going to have a phaser. They're going to have a digital delay and an analog delay. They're going to have a few different flavors of tube strainer.
Right, but
they're going to have a bunch of fuzzes, you know?
I'm not thinking this is like, oh, it's got to be one brand to rule them all.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to say like, well, you know, like I would say like Walrus would be king, but you know, they don't have a very good pedal X. So, you know, JHS has a better pedal X than Walrus.
Maybe
does.
the soul of it is like, even if the brand only makes like 2 or 3 models of pedals, they make the best sounding versions of those pedals.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, okay, if you think, we'll pick on, I don't know, we'll pick on somebody big.
Electro Harmonics.
I've already thrown it out there. Like you really like, well, I was actually going to pick on Josh.
Oh, okay.
You really like you really hate the JHS aesthetic. And you're like, oh, it's just like dumb. I've seen a lot of people, like a lot of people aren't really into like the very simple aesthetic.
I like the simple graphic aesthetic.
I do too.
I have a problem with some of the width of the lines in some of the graphics. That's all I say. This is just graphics. I have a graphic design like twinge every now and then when I see certain JHS pedals pop up. Not on current ones. Well, there's some older ones.
Okay,
why are those line weights so different?
Oh my gosh, can we just get through this
Yes,
topic?
please complete it.
So what I'm saying is like, oh, people say like, oh, JHS, like I just can't get down with that like ultra simple. It's like, oh, it's so hipster. Like, if all JHS pedals had no design, because all pedals have no graphic design, they're all in Hammond, you know, 125Bs or
and like Boss style graphic where it's just the font and the model number.
Yeah. Would that person who says like, oh, I really hate the JHS aesthetic, all of a sudden be like, JHS is my favorite pedal?
Because they're not looking at the graphic anymore. Yeah. They're just like, oh, I like the sound
so
of
that's
this.
what I'm thinking of is like, and maybe you break that down to like a single brand, but I think you do have to start from the standpoint of, I really want to like this pedal, but I can't get over the graphic. For a lot of people, I happen to really like the artistic style that Walrus Audio takes. I think it's really consistent. I think it's pretty recognizable right off the bat with the way that their aesthetic is laid out. But I understand why a lot of people think they're too busy. And I know a lot of people are like, yeah, I would just never own one because I just like their art gives me a headache.
All right. Huh.
So that's how I'm thinking about this.
I'm a graphic artist just for the majority of my living before I started doing this.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever not bought a pedal that I liked the sound of based on the graphic. And I don't think I've ever sold a pedal because I was like, you know, I just can't look at this graphic anymore. Like I still accept them as their functional product, you know. I have seen limited edition pedals with special art on them where like, oh, maybe I want to sell the one I already have to get that limited edition. But I've never been like, oh, I've got to get that limited edition of a pedal I don't have just because I love the art so much. I've never bought a pedal just because of the art.
Here's a weird twist. Say you eliminate branding on top of it, or I don't know, like I don't know how you would do this scenario.
Is this like a reality where like all pedal manufacturing is regulated by the government and there's like,
yeah, basically like
it's all just like very like communist Russia, like Soviet style, like here is drive. This is drive number 1.
Yeah. Basically the question is that I have is, how many affordable pedals are all of a sudden like become people's favorite, like broadly, not because I see people every once in a while like, oh yeah, I got the I got the whatever from Moore, and it's like, this is the best version of a tube screamer that I've ever owned, and it was $30 or whatever. And it's like, if all tube screamers were in a Moore box, or say all tube screamers were in this size enclosure, everybody's is in this size enclosure. The guts are all different, but you can't look at it because you're just going to a store and you're trying them all or whatever.
Right.
Or you just like, there's no screws. They're all riveted closed. There's no
Welded. They're
no
all
access.
welded closed.
So you don't know if it's cheap guts or expensive guts. All tube screamers are $80, no matter what brand it is. This is the communist tube screamer. But there's a variety of them. There's tube screamer, like you said, tube screamer number 1, tube screamer number 2, tube screamer number 3. How far up the list does tube screamer number 7, which is actually, a Rowan tube screamer,
Right.
get up the ranking? Because all of a sudden it's not like, oh, that's made in China crap.
Right. If you don't have any branding, if you don't have any sense of where it came from, and you're only judging it by your ears, is that a great equalizer? Like, do the import brands that you would normally write off because like, oh, that's just a $30 like mini pedal, does it suddenly go toe to toe with, the boutique $300 drive that's made out of an titanium or something like that?
Here we go. Here's the question. And I bet this one's in here.
Ask me the question, Steve.
Here's the question. What's that orange Behringer that everybody... The
Super Fuzz.
The FZ300?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
The SF300.
SF300. I wonder how many people have had that pedal and they're like, dude, this is the best fuzz, but this stupid plastic case, I'm going to break it.
Right. No, I guarantee if you put that in a metal case, that people would pay more for it.
Yeah, people would pay a lot more for it. You put it in a generic, like you can't just at this point in our understanding of time and space, put it into a metal box and say, hey, I got this boutique pedal, because as soon as somebody cracks it open and goes, this is the Behringer circuit, like you just bought a bunch of SF300s, gutted them, put them in aluminum enclosures.
Vertex style.
Yeah, Vertex style.
Yeah.
Or Freakish Blues.
Freakish Blues. I got one of those Ultimate drives in for getting an affordable video.
The Joyo one?
Yeah.
Is that what he was using? The Joyo Ultimate Drive?
Freakish Blues was this company that doesn't exist. I hope not anymore.
I don't think they exist.
Really wild.
This is the Alpha Drive, I think.
Self-produced demos. Go look up Freakish Blues videos.
It's spelled Freek.
They took the Ultimate Drive, which is very famously a OCD clone.
Yeah.
Essentially repainted it, gave it new knobs, and then we're selling it as a boutique pedal when you can get these things like $30 or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised it has the battery tray on the back. I wasn't expecting that. It's the first time I've opened it. Interesting. So yeah, I'm going to do like an OCD shootout. I was thinking about getting myself an actual OCD to include in the shootout.
Which version?
I don't know. That's the tough thing. I'd probably just go with whatever one's cheapest.
1.0, 1.1,
probably just a
1.2,
a 2.6.4 beta.
1.5, 1.6, 1.7, 2. I think it goes from 1.7 to 2.
Do we want to crush this last ad?
Oh, yeah. No, I want to talk about housekeeping.
Okay, housekeep us.
All right, guys. Here's the deal.
Here we go.
It's going to be 2021 soon. Everything's going to open up.
Inflation is going to go crazy through the roof.
I'm not going to spend this. This is dumb. Okay, if you have money, you can support us financially. If you don't have money, just keep listening. Go on YouTube. If you ever do need to buy something from Amazon, like even groceries, use the link on the video down below. Use the link to buy your groceries so Ryan gets a cut of that. Okay?
Thank you.
Screw Jeff Bezos, but also like give us our 3%, right?
People think that like if you buy through our Amazon links, then you're helping Jeff Bezos. False. You are taking money out of his pocket because you know you were going to buy stuff on Amazon anyways. Yeah. If you were going to buy stuff on Amazon anyways, might as well take 3% off the top and put it in my pocket so I can make a living and take some of that money away from Jeff Bezos. Actually, he's probably just going to take that out of his factory workers' pay.
But if you want to get rid of the Jeff Bezos in this equation completely, and you want to send us most of that money, and also like 3% to Jack Conti, who's the keyboard player in Pomplamoose, and
No, Reverb doesn't do 3%.
Patreon.
Oh, Patreon.
Head on over to patreon.com/60cyclehumcast, where for as little as $1 a month, you can support the show and also give a 3% cut to Jack Conti from Scary Pockets. That's the name of his funk cover band.
Also, Sweetwater and Toman are great affiliate links to use.
Yeah. And if you support us at the $5 level, then I will ship you some stuff that I'm now a few weeks behind on again.
Also, guys, this is the year we're either going to turn around into thriving, or the world is going to devolve into a nightmarish Mad Max hellscape, and inflation is going to go through the roof, and everything's going to cost $1 billion. We're going to switch to the $1 billion bill, and we're going to use a couple of those to buy hamburgers. When that happens, kindly consider that maybe it's time to up your Patreon pledge. Maybe $10 doesn't cut it anymore in that awful future. So
why didn't all of these people that are listening to the show not have jobs in this hellscape?
Consider upping your pledge to $10 billion a month.
This is like the collapse of the Deutschmark.
All right, let's tackle this last ad.
Yeah, this last ad was sent by Michael Kraus.
Yikes.
It's on eBay, and it says, parts are not working. Could benefit of gentle cleaning. Please note that this was a project guitar and is composed of parts of assorted brands. Gap in neck appears to be unfinished, and please note that this was untested. Please also note that penny is not included. It is just for scale.
Oh, it's for scale.
Note that all instruments are not play tested, and some repairs may be needed. All items are donated and may be used in condition with some scuffs, scratches, or dents.
This is a very project.
This is a
high school workshop
I think
guitar.
This is a Squire neck.
Look how deep that neck pocket is going into the body.
Yeah, that neck pocket is scary.
Is that a?
Because I just made it. Never mind.
Is that a reference to anything?
Yeah, it's a reference to a thing I just said. Oh, there's the penny.
Yeah, there's the penny wedged in between the neck and the cut of the body. Look at the cut on this body.
It's so I don't even know how to make cuts that straight. I don't know have the
How
equipment.
did they cut this? This is bizarre.
This is kind of like that Van Halen design though, right? The
kind of, I guess. It's kind of spaceshipy, but it's like the rawest cuts, like rawest lumber cuts I've ever seen. Like it's cut with like an industrial bandsaw. Straight lines only, not a single curve in the whole body design.
At least the upper horn is long and the lower horn is short.
Yeah, but the lower horn doesn't cut away for the neck. Like it meets up past, like the heel meets past the neck plate.
This is I'm trying to figure out what show I'm thinking of.
Honestly, in reality, it's a few gentle tweaks away from being a really compelling brutalist design. But as it is right now, this thing is butt fugly.
What this is this is what a BC Rich guitar looks like in a Max Headroom style animated program.
And they have the tools, obviously, to cut things.
They cut a lot of things here.
Instead of cutting a custom pickguard, they just mangled an existing Strat pickguard.
But they clearly have the tools to cut things. Ryan, what they don't have is the tools to sand things.
They clearly don't have any sort of aesthetic eye either. Like this is...
You don't think this is beautiful, Ryan?
Bonkers. No, there's nothing about this that's beautiful.
The horns are actually like so tight, and maybe it's just the ankles are creating like deceptive lines. I don't know, but I feel like you actually can't really access much above even the 12th fret.
No,
like it doesn't look like there's a lot of room.
You're gonna get poked.
Yeah.
And then the headstock is, I think you're right. There's some sort of Squire neck with the bulb cut off of it.
Yeah.
In a straight line, as these people tend to cut things.
Did we say Michael Kraus sent this?
We did.
Okay, cool.
Well, you did just now.
Awesome.
Oh, what a disaster. How much did they want for it? Where's the
Right there. $52 is the current price.
That's the bid.
The bid is the next minimum bid is $53. This is on eBay.
I hope no one buys it.
8 people have bid on this.
Why?
People want those Squire parts.
That's too much money for firewood.
Yeah.
And that's all this is. Yikes.
This is no bueno.
Now you're buying the pickups.
Mm-hmm.
The rest is trash. I mean, the bridge is probably usable, but
no, this isn't even like worth smashing. You'd hurt yourself. You'd hurt yourself trying to smash this.
You buy this because you need scrap wood in the garage. You're like, I mean, might need to cut a corner off of that to fix a door someday.
You buy this because you're a masochist.
Watch, this is going to end up being the most famous guitar of our lifetime.
Jack White buys it.
Yeah. Eric Clapton is going to buy this, and this is the one he'll be able to sell for $1 million.
Oh my gosh.
We're a guitar podcast, and we didn't even talk about Eric Clapton failing to sell a guitar.
Yikes.
Whoops.
All right, man, you ready to get out of here?
Yeah, play that song for us.
Yeah, this was sent by Daniel Askins. He says, newish material. Hi, Stephen Ryan. As much as I love the Mexican national anthem, I feel maybe it's time for a change. This is from my humble 8-track Porta Studio here in snowy Erie, Pennsylvania. I often question that I think it's not named after the nearby lake, instead the adjective. All tracks performed by yours truly, later, Dan. This song is called Stardog.
Lay it on me, man. Oh. Start it over. I didn't want to do him dirty. long was that?
4 minutes and 15 seconds.
I think there's a fun riff in there. A fun little hook. I have a few criticisms.
Oh,
I think you could cut that down to 2.5 minutes.
okay.
Pull back quite a bit of the modulation. There's a lot of modulation on that track.
I think I like the modulation.
Steve liked the modulation. I'd say put the modulation on one thing. It feels like it's on everything. On the bass, on the rhythm guitar, on the drums. It feels like everything has like a stereo modulation going on. And I was just kind of swimming in it. I think there's something there. I think this is a good start to something.
Right. What it reminded me of is like the start of like a Baba O'Reilly era.
It feels very disco roller rink. You know, that's playing. You're doing couple skating backwards. There's laser lights going on. It has.
I never did those things.
It has that vibe, you know. Cool sounds. Cool sounds. But I think for it to be a song, I feel like there's some tooling that needs to happen. But yeah, thanks for sending it.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
Stay grounded.